Yo, what's good, gang? It's the Dope Guy, and I am back with another video, big dog. Yo, hope you guys are all doing well out there because I'm doing alright. And here I am spinning the block with content for y'all, man, on my soul. Hey, yo, today's video, we got how the Berlin Wall worked, man. Shout out to all my people in Germany. Much love, respect to y'all, man. Some of the things I only know about the Berlin Wall that was knocked down in 1989. That's all pretty much my knowledge of the Berlin Wall, bro. You know what I'm saying? But yo, I can't wait to get into this video and learn how it was worked, how it was operated, all the good stuff, bro. So I cannot wait to tap in and learn the history. But before we do that, subscribe to the Dope Guy, that way to get notifications every time I upload. And from right here on Snapchat and Instagram right across the bottom screen. So that being said, I'm not gonna hold y'all much longer because y'all already know this. Go, big dog. Let's get into it. Yes, sir.
Imagine having to split a city into two completely separate parts. Roads that used to connect are now dead ends.
Damn.
Your job on the other side of the city, inaccessible. And the neighbor across the street that you used to see daily, you will perhaps never speak to him again.
Damn.
The Berlin Wall did exactly that, separating East and West for almost 30 years.
That's crazy.
For this video, I've animated the various development stages of the wall in order to understand the design of this unique piece of architecture. This is how the Berlin Wall worked.
Okay, let's tap in.
Living in Berlin before the wall was built was a strange life. You could move around the entire city freely, but you were either an East Berliner or a West Berliner. After the Second World War, the victorious nations had divided the German city into several parts. The Soviet occupation zone ultimately became the territory of East Germany, a socialist state, and the western part of Berlin remained legally occupied, but in all practicality, it belonged to West Germany, a capitalist state.
Okay.
Socialism and capitalism, two different nations, and even two different currencies, separated only by streets. Trains connecting the different parts of the city would make announcements. Next station, last stop in the eastern zone. Many people lived in one part of the city but worked in the other.
Right.
East Berliners took jobs in the west in order to benefit from the stronger currency, while West Berliners got their haircuts in the east at prices that were much cheaper to them.
Dirt cheap.
And in a way, both systems tried to outdo the other.
I bet.
In West Berlin, a multitude of stores sprang up on the Kurfürstendamm Street, shop windows filled with the latest brand name products of Western consumer culture. While just a few streets away in East Berlin, there was Stalinallee, a street that was transformed into a boulevard full of buildings in the style of socialist classicism. But this open coexistence of two systems wouldn't last long.
So basically, people in West Germany, they had all the name brands, all the good stuff, where they was really making money over there. It's almost like it was like the wealth side. That's how they made. That's what it sounded like. They trying to divide it, bro. You know what I'm saying? All the name brand stuff, all the fancy stuff is in West Germany, bro. And then in the East, it's just like buildings and whatnot, bro.
On the 13th of August 1961, Berlin woke up to a divided city. The East German government closed the border, which means that families were split apart.
That's crazy.
Though officially stating that this was necessary to protect their country, it was an effort to stop their own citizens from fleeing to the West, where opportunities, wages, and freedoms seemed greater. At the start, this was just a wall in name. It mostly consisted of fences and loose pieces of barbed wire, manned by guards. There were some unguarded stretches, and it was even possible to jump across.
What are the consequences when you jump across? I wonder what were those consequences, bro?
Escaping more difficult, construction immediately began on a more permanent wall, made out of concrete, and topped off with barbed wire coil around a Y-shaped metal arm. But this is not how the wall looked everywhere. A shortage of building materials meant that in the first years, just 10% of the border was built like this, and there was another issue. Sometimes the border between West and East Berlin went straight through housing blocks.
Damn.
Houses that now had to become part of the wall. The East German authorities forced people out of their homes and filled the windows with bricks. Sometimes, however, they would forget a window.
Oh shit.
On August 17, 1962, Peter Fechter discovers one such house, making up part of the wall. Peter is frustrated with the East German government as they won't let him see his sister that lives on the other side of the wall. Together with his colleague Helmut, he fantasizes about an escape to the west. The two of them see people inside the house, and in order not to be noticed, they take off their shoes and quietly creep in. By sheer luck, they quickly find the open window. From here, they have a clear view of the road to freedom. A fence, then a clear strip, and finally a wall. It seems doable, except for the fact that they are in plain sight of the nearby border guards. Suddenly, they hear voices behind them, and it is now or never.
It's crazy,
Peter
bro.
and Helmut jump out of the window and climb the first fence.
Damn.
Then they are spotted, and immediately the guards open fire.
Damn. Open fire without warning, bro. I know they shouldn't have done it, but yo, man, this shit was really keeping people from families, like his siblings, kids, wives, husband. This is crazy, bro. Without warning, they open fire on those guys, bro. Without warning, that is crazy, diabolical behavior, bro. Damn.
Helmut dashes across the strip through a haze of bullets. As he scales the wall, he looks back and he sees his friend Peter frozen in place. The guards are closing in further.
Oh shit.
And they will have a clear shot soon. Helmut screams, and Peter finally springs into action.
Good
He
shit.
makes it across the strip.
That's a good buddy. That is a good buddy, bro, because they was about to kill him, bro. He screamed, threw the guards off, and he hauled ass, bro.
But as he jumps up to scale the wall,
Oh, no.
he is hit mid-air and slumps down.
Damn.
Helmut can't help his friend.
Damn.
An entire 50 minutes passes as a crowd of onlookers gathers to see Peter lying on the ground, slowly dying at the base of the wall.
Damn, bro.
Tragic stories like Peter Fechter's were widely covered in the West.
Damn.
But for the East German authorities, the only lesson learned was to increase the wall. Over the course of decades, the wall is consistently upgraded, with more and more increasing security features. What once was a single wall soon became a brutal border strip, cutting the city further and further apart.
Yeah.
As improvements to the wall were made, escape attempts shifted to new methods, and the wall would be expanded again.
They kept expanding the wall over time, bro. I couldn't imagine living separate from the other side. Well, if I want to go on the other side, and there's people out that, like I said, family members are divided, you know what I'm saying? There's probably things you want to do on the other side, bro, but you can't. You're only stuck to one side, bro. I shout out to anyone, if any of your family members or you yourself who are watching this video who have lived through that during the Berlin Wall, man. That's unfortunate, bro. That's tough. I'm sorry that y'all went through that. This is crazy.
Back and forth that was repeated until the last version of the wall was built. The version of the wall that became famous. From 1975 on, the East German authorities rolled out this version of the wall. A border virtually impossible for anyone to cross.
Look at that.
And this is how it generally worked. Coming from the east, only the visual barrier made of concrete slabs can be seen. This was done so that the exact border fortifications are not visible, as this knowledge could be used to plan escape attempts. Just behind this barrier, the ground is covered in so-called Stalin's grass. These are mats made of steel needles that would pierce the foot of someone trying to jump across.
So pretty much the stopping point is right at the line where the what do you call it again? Stalin's grass. That's crazy, bro. Oh man, bro. I don't know how people live like that during this time. This like the 60s through the 70s up until the 80s, bro. I don't know how people lived through that, bro. They really divided East and West Germany, bro. Like, just even make an attempt to do that shit, bro, you're gonna hurt yourself, bro. They really was keeping people from over there, bro. That shit is wild.
Needles that would pierce the foot of anyone trying to jump across. Next up is a signal fence consisting of
Put the
barbed
fence up
wire
there.
stretched over
shit.
concrete posts.
Damn.
Anyone trying to scale this fence would quickly press the wires together, triggering an alarm and notifying the guards in a nearby watchtower.
Crazy, bro.
Watchtowers were manned 24/7 by 2 to 5 soldiers. These soldiers had a clear view of the whole border, with orders to shoot anyone on sight.
Shoot anyone on sight. They got the Stalin's grass. They got the fence with the barbed wire and 2 to 5 guards on 24/7 watch, and get to shoot on sight. That shit. That's like, what the hell is this? It's feel like prison, bro. That feels like prison, dog. In your own community. Shit is wild, man.
Trying to use
Damn.
force to break these sections would not work either, as behind the signal fence are several rows of tank traps, barring anyone from driving through with a vehicle.
Wow.
In the middle of this border zone is a path for soldiers to patrol the area, oftentimes accompanied by dogs. And behind this is the so-called death strip, a stroke of dirt stretching for miles in every direction, in full sight of the guard towers.
Jesus Christ. They had this shit on
Hiding is
lockdown.
impossible. And if anyone somehow made it past here, they reach a part that is easily recognizable. The wall facing the western side.
Wow.
In contrast to the old wall, these elements had a foot-shaped bottom, which meant that no holes in the ground were needed for their construction. And instead of barbed wire on top, there were now pipes made of asbestos concrete.
Oh shit.
These pipes provided stability for the wall elements, and the East German authorities also hoped that they would decrease the prison camp feeling of the previous wall. But this was not the only reason for the change. The new concrete used was extremely smooth, with
Bro, it looks
nothing
like prison,
to grasp
bro.
onto.
It's like jail, G. Shit.
One thing the authorities didn't consider, however, is that this smoothness made the wall an easy target for graffiti from the western side.
Oh shit.
Graffiti that would dominate many of the 45,000 elements that were placed in Berlin.
Yeah, I've seen clips of that too.
Artworks that would often mock the East German government resulted in an open gallery of sorts, highlighting the harsh difference between life in the West, where free artistic expression was possible, and life in the East, where this was unthinkable.
Right.
Exact numbers of victims from this wall are disputed, and it is something that to this day is being researched. But over the years, it was many who, just like Peter Fechter, were hoping for a better life on the other side of
Crazy,
the wall.
bro. To go through that shit.
But the Berlin Wall was only a small part of the division of Germany. In addition to Berlin, the whole country was also divided into 2 parts, and some people made daring attempts, risking their lives to try to get to freedom. For example, the 2 friends Günter Wetzel and Peter Strelzik, who wanted to build a better life for themselves in the West. And after coming across an article about hot air balloons, an insane plan was born. The 2 decided
Crazy,
to build
bro.
their own homemade hot air balloon to escape across the border. After everything is sewn together, the burner is started and the balloon takes off. But then, immediately after taking off, a huge hole is torn in the top of the balloon, and they could crash to the ground from
shit.
over 6,000 feet.
Damn.
I made a complete video about this spectacular balloon escape.
That's
with
crazy.
Some of my most elaborate animations and illustrations.
That's
I
smart.
was able to interview Günther for this project, who told me how the daring escape attempt went.
Plötzlich kamen vom Boden 3 Scheinwerferstrahlen auf uns zu. Und
They got smart, grabbed a hot air balloon and try to get the hell from over there, bro.
da ist unsere Flamme ausgegangen.
They was about to make the great escape.
This
Yo, man, damn, that was great storytelling about the Berlin Wall, how it worked, man. Damn, people was really living like it was prison, bro. Divided from your loved ones, and then they had barbed wire and asbestos pipes and fucking Stalin's grass with spikes in it, bro. They really, and armed guards with dogs who will shoot and kill on sight. That shit is crazy. That is prison, bro. What do the people out there deserve? Why do they deserve that, bro? To go through that like I said, my only extended knowledge is that it torn down in 1989. That's my extended knowledge of Berlin Wall. Well, watching this video, man, I really learned a lot about how it started, why it started, people who made the attempts to get over on the other side of the wall, just doing all that stuff, bro. I enjoyed this video a lot, man. Shout out to all my people in Germany. Much love, respect to y'all, man. Really got educated on how the whole Berlin Wall situation worked out. You know what I'm saying, from the beginning. You know what I'm saying, and I was very intrigued with the information. I appreciate the storytelling from my man. I forgot his channel's name. Let me look it up real quick. What's his channel's name? Neo. Subscribe to his channel, man. First and foremost, man. Salute to him. Support his channel. Subscribe over there, man. Shout out to all my people in Germany, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have lived through that, or have loved ones who lived through that, man, during that crazy time. Man, shout out to y'all, man. First and foremost, much love, respect to everybody out there, man. On God. But yo, I hope you enjoyed the reaction to this video. If you enjoyed my reaction, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Dope Guy Big Dog. Hit the notification bell whenever I upload. From right here on Snapchat and Instagram, right across the bottom screen. Any other videos you may check out, please comment into this video, my other videos, and leave likes and comments on all my videos to help grow the channel, help with the algorithm, for sure. Any more videos you may check out, leave a comment in the comment section below. No, I got you. I'm gonna spin the block. But yeah, man, it's the Dope Guy, and I am out. Yes, sir.